All right, so I'm a big friend of starting a session in time, and I think it's now pretty much 9:30, so we can get on it. Maybe an information to all of you who have not been used to this format. You need to have these headphones, otherwise you will not hear me. Headphones can be got from the desk right at the back. And if you want to ask a question, then you have to raise your hand and I will bring you a microphone, because without speaking into a microphone, no one here will be able to hear you. So it's a rather innovative format, and we try to do that in a way to be able to do that in the middle of several audiences without hearing stuff that is not for you. But make sure you are on channel 1, because otherwise you're listening to some of the other presentations, and that might be rather confusing. So I really recommend to use channel 1, then the slides will be a better match for what you hear. So our session today is called the consumption data as a driver for new business models. And I think that with this topic, we have not only a very timely topic for the energy branch, for what this conference is about. With consumption data, we really have one of the big things for the branch coming within the next years, or at least I hope some of you already have included that in their plans. My name is Johannes Reichel. I will moderate the session today, coming from the Energy Institute in Linz. We are a research institute that tries to help energy companies how to better engage with their customers, where not too much of such contacts have been before. So what is actually the challenge that we are going to address in that session? And the challenge is that we do have and will get even more sensors out there in the power grids. And when I say sensors, I really mean everything from a very top level of the transmission system down to the consumer, to the smart meter level, but even below to the device level, where even refrigerators, washing machines send signals to possibly a hub, possibly further to the system operator. And wherever there is data, there is a chance to exploit that data in a way that it can actually help a business, or in a way that it can help the consumer. Ideally, it does both, because then it has the biggest chances to be implemented. And having so much data coming in, I think a lot of us are today looking for solutions how this data can be exploited. And we are, I believe, in a pretty specific role here, because the smart meter rollout, to some extent at least, is politically commanded. So we do have the infrastructure in place, or will have the infrastructure in place soon. And it's not really being driven by specific fantastic ideas for applications, but first by a political level. And now it's us that have to find ways how to exploit all that data. And that is what we are trying to address in this session. What are the existing solutions? What could be the next solutions? What do we know already today? What can be done with this kind of data? And I think we have really some very special speakers today that have made research on that level, that have made field tests on that level, that developed solutions that are ready to go out in the field. And our talks today will report about such solutions, about ideas for the field. Whenever it comes to consumption data, then I think you're really here at the right place this morning at this fantastic event. So who are the speakers that I'm talking about? First, I think one of the important preconditions for every business model is to have a good level of confidence with respect to the data security that you are collecting from the consumers. And so I'm very happy that Mr. Mihai Paun, from the co-founder and vice president of the Romanian Energy Center, is going to say some words about the security of the smart metering. As I said, this is a concern of consumers, and we have to address that carefully. We then get to the energy analytics for the smart grid and the flexibility by Ricardo Bessa from Portugal, who will show us what they have done in that field. And I believe that is one of the very core functionalities of our new and smart grids to enable such kind of flexibility. We then have Mr. Chad Cohen from my own institute, from the Energy Institute, who's going to show you an app that was specifically designed to achieve a high level of customer retention for electricity retailers. So there was an app that is connected to smart meters, and it shall help an electricity retailer to keep his customers or even to attract new customers. And there we get some insights into this very large field test of the app that has been done. Then we have two speakers, Mr. Brian Finkel and AJ Gambier, that are going to talk about smart meters, so the sensors themselves. They are working to develop solutions that allow us to control for the accuracy of actually the metering devices, which is a topic that I'm a bit concerned could have been not addressed enough in the past. So I'm very happy we have them on the panel today, as that is for sure an important topic. Yeah, then you all deserve a coffee break that will last from 11 to 11:30, and I hope to see you back right then here. And then we get some very interesting reports from European level projects. The one by Pedro Matos, it's the Integrit project that has designed a market hub, and we are looking forward to get some knowledge out of that project. That is really one of the, I think, benchmark projects in Europe currently going on in that field. And then Piero Frattanale from Milan is going to talk about experiences from 3 European projects, so we get really an impression of the evolution over time of that topic, and that is something that I'm very, very happy to see how there can actually be created awareness of the customers for the energy topic at all. And then we have a panel discussion, so hope to have you here then when you get the chance to inquire the speakers in a bit more depth than it may be possible during the session itself. We will talk for about 15 minutes each, and then you have 5 minutes for questions and answers. So as always, the call, please keep your questions short and precise. And also my question to the speakers, keep your answers short and precise so that we can stay within our time frame. Now, so I'm very happy first to announce our first speaker, Mr. Mihai Paun, who's talking about the cybersecurity as a precondition actually to get these data-driven models to take off.
Thank you very much, Johannes, for the introduction. Good morning, ladies and gentlemen. It is a great pleasure for me to be here in this nice environment, professional environment, business environment. And on behalf of the Romanian Energy Center Association, I will be very pleased to share with you some ideas about a very challenging topic for the electricity industry today. It is about cyber security of smart metering as already introduced as a precondition for successful business models. So we are challenged by the process of digitizing the energy sector today. And I put here 3 main ideas which are very much linked to those challenges. First, we speak about societal challenges driving the new energy use cases. Second challenge is the new energy technologies evolving and the need for more accurate technologies to help the power system. And the third challenge is linked to laboratory testing and field trials to identify more solutions. I will address one by one those 3 challenges, and because the collection of slides, it's perhaps a bit too ambitious for the 15 minutes allocated, I will mainly address some elements and leave the rest for you to look at when back home in peace and silence. So, the first challenge, societal challenges. Weather condition is one of them. here is just one example of the biggest storm to have reached Ireland from across the Atlantic since the records began. That was the 10th tropical storm in a row to develop into a hurricane, and this was the biggest storm to hit Ireland since more than almost 60 years. As a result of weather conditions, bad weather conditions, power outages occurs. So this is just an example in October last year with plenty of points where crews have intervened to repair the damage as the storm evolved quite impressive. In September, the next storm Ali and then the storm Callum, all those damaging very, very badly the electricity wires with more than 30,000 customers being disconnected of electricity. Not only storms are affecting the electricity sector, but also the drier climate with less rain, which is also one of the main reasons for which effects on the electricity wires are big. But the power grids evolves, as we all know, driven by the CO2 reduction, CO2 emissions reduction, and there are new actors, including virtual power plant operators, including also service providers, aggregators, microgrid operators. But as you can see in this very, very generic slide, in the middle, TSOs and DSOs are really playing a key role as they send and receive power and load. And the discussion today at the European level between transmission system operators, represented by the European Network of Transmission System Operators for Electricity in Brussels, and distribution system operators, which is represented by many associations, including Eurelectric, ETSO for Smart Grids, GEODI, and SEDEC, which will be now, as a result of the energy package under finalization and hopefully being agreed and communicated by the end of this year, a more prominent role of distribution system operators, in the sense that the balance in the legal dialogue between TSOs and DSOs will be better, with the newly to be created body to represent, legally speaking, the interest of the distribution system operators while discussing and negotiating the network codes, for example, with the transmission system operators. Smart grid infrastructure. There is a high risk due to the attacks and also due to the human errors occurring while operating the system. Only a few examples. For instance, this Ukrainian power grid cyber attack in 2015, 3 years ago, first known successful cyber attack on the power grid. You may see the details in the slide, but also the European blackout in 2006 with all those areas being affected, the orange area under frequency, the green area over frequency, and the blue area where you see those countries, including my country, Romania, on the right-hand side, and all the Balkan countries down to Greece, area under frequency. So that was the first challenge. The second challenge of digitizing the energy system is related to the new emerging technologies and also to the need of more technologies to be in place. We are now aware of increasing role and percentage of renewable energy and decreasing the synchronous generation. You may see the situation on the left side with the wind power total world capacity showing a very positive trend up to more than 300 gigawatts in 2013 and even more these days. But the trend is that traditional technologies, traditional generation like nuclear and coal, slowly but surely will be replaced by new type of generations with synchronous generations whose inertia stabilizes power network frequency. Security for utilities is a key issue. All TSOs in electricity, all DSOs in electricity, but also in gas, water, and other industries are very much interested to find optimal solutions to face cyber attacks, and this is one of the solutions we at the Romanian Energy Center, together with partners in several European projects, addressed with this norm smart meter data. Maybe you heard of it. It's a project supported very much by the European Commission with the topic of a new open real-time smart meter. I will shortly address this, but maybe save some time and leave some background information for you to look at. This is the unbundled smart meter architecture, and the device, the norm device, has been developed in the Noble Grid project. Perhaps other colleagues are speaking about this more in details these days here in Vienna. The key results of this project are related to the next generation open real-time smart meter serving distribution networks, microgrids with high penetration of renewables. So this is one of the ways to face cyber attacks. What are the benefits? Many benefits, including the increase of the smart grid cybersecurity solutions, renewable penetration, and at the same time keeping the privacy, which is in contradiction with the high-level cybersecurity measures. There are also results related to the deployment of these critical infrastructure security operation centers, which are going to be shortly installed in the European countries. I would like now to bring more arguments with the support of this short movie, bringing you to the field and demonstrating the way the norm device has been installed to support distribution system operators to face cyber attacks. Success project is a European funded project with good achievements, with good results already confirmed in 3 field trials. This partnership on the topic of cybersecurity creates the opportunity to develop new products and new services in the area of critical infrastructure protection. The data we collected in the last couple of months are very, very relevant for future investigations and future development in this innovative area of research.
We are in the PV plant of 2.5 megawatt. This is a place where the automation and the protection devices are placed. It's also the place where the norm equipment is also mounted. It's a market existing meter. In this case, it's an Elster meter. The second acquisition equipment is a low-cost PMU, which is designed inside the project by RVTH. We have also 2 Raspberry Pi platforms, one which is implementing the smart meter gateway inside the norm device, and another one which is implementing the security part all the setup can be accessed remotely, and for this reason there is also a router which has also a GPRS 3G connection, and the lower part are the connections to the local grid. In addition to that, we have a physical switch which is monitored by the smart meter extension to detect physical intrusion. The racks here are implementing the automation and protection of the whole PV substation. They have also the equipment which is showing which is the actual power production and so on. And these are regular equipment in order to be able to connect to the main grid.
Okay, so that was the idea of bringing you to the field where the norm device and also the other elements of the cyber security protection have been installed. And I'm very pleased to say that this has been done in Romania in the field of one of our members also present here. It's about Eximprod group who is willing to contribute to this project on cybersecurity with more solutions. So the rest, it's related to technology from 1G to 5G, which is also part of this project, and this is more than laboratory testing. It will come soon. The last challenge addressing field trials and solutions, those are the countries collaborating on cyber security trials and technologies. You may see Italy with the real-time flexibility meters being installed, Ireland, ESB, the distribution system operator, and also Romania cooperating on this project. Others are doing similar things as the renewables is increasing, and most probably you will discover the results of those projects addressing new network codes for up to 100 renewable in the more stable electric grid. I will stop my intervention here to save time for discussion and questions. There are only a few more slides which could be looked at later during the days or when you are back home. Thank you very much for your patience and interest, and I will be happy to take questions if any, or to contribute to the discussion later on. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Mihai. It was a great presentation. So do we have a question for Mihai from the audience? Anyone wants to directly approach Mihai, then that would be a great opportunity. Otherwise, I will take the opportunity to ask you something. There has been a novel by an Austrian writer, actually. The novel was called Blackout. And there they have done the scenario, or the novel was built on a scenario that smart meters have been hacked, and from hacking smart meters, a huge pan-European blackout was the result. Do you consider a scenario where a blackout evolves from hacking smart meters as a possible one, or is that a pure science fiction scenario?
Thank you for the question, Johannes. I think this brings me to the core of the project success, because we are testing, when we are simulating cyber attacks via smart meters. So what we discovered is that the smart meters are, as you may all know, vulnerable, and they are very much exposed to attacks, to cyber attacks. Therefore, this new solution with a new generation open real-time smart meter, it's facing this challenge with some already demonstrated solutions in the laboratory where we test, in the fields where we test attacks addressed through smart meters. And this is reality, this is not fiction.
Okay, thanks for that answer. So better keep a couple of extra bottles of water at home. It might actually be needed someday.
Okay, thank you very much.
Thank you.